Hey, it is Elizabeth Offred, and I have been living in a car for about 1 year. And even though I could now afford to get an apartment or rent a room somewhere, I'm not going to. And here's why. I recorded a video about a year ago of why I live in a car. And the two big reasons for why I lived in the car was travel and paying off debt. Because I realized that I couldn't pay for housing and pay off debt and travel all the time. And that those three things were incompatible goals. And that was definitely true at that time. Now, it is a little bit different for why I live in a vehicle, because I've living in a vehicle for an entire year. I've realized that I actually really love living in a car. So let's talk about why. Bottom line is that I am happier. I am more physically healthy. I am more mentally healthy. I have more energy. I spend more time with loved ones. I have more time and energy and kind of accessibility to do all of my hobbies, both outdoor hobbies like hiking and things like that, as well as indoor hobbies like drawing. Or drawing you also can do outside, huh? And the more interesting thing even is that I actually make more money now. I have multiple businesses. I'm a lawyer and I'm also a YouTuber, and I make more money now that I live in a car than when I lived in an apartment. So why is that? Why is it that living in a vehicle is better? I'm not saying it's better for you, okay? I'm saying, why is it better for me? I think part of it is literally just being outside. I mean, listen to this. I am outside all the time. I am in my car with my windows rolled down. I was sitting at the picnic table over there earlier. There's birds chirping. There's a nice breeze. There's trees. It's lovely. I'm at a state park right now. There are times where I go to the beach. Yesterday, I was at the beach. There are times where I'm just in town and I'm just at a park. I can travel and go to national park. And then sometimes I'm just literally in my car, but windows are down and I'm just being in the fresh air. I think that I have a constitution where being outside all the time and being in nature all the time is what I need to be my best self. I don't know why. It's just true. The data shows every metric of better I have. So why would I ever? The idea of living in a little box sounds terrible to me. And you might say, you are living in a little box. No, not really. I'm not really. The windows are open. I go outside all the time. I'm doing this because I'm, recording a video. The thing is that I am so much more in touch with nature and everything out there, way more than when I lived in an apartment or a house for that matter. I have more time and energy, and some of that I'm not quite sure why. I think a lot of that is about nature, but I think it's also about all the things I don't have to do. I don't have to clean a bathroom because I don't own one. I don't have this huge pile of stuff that I have to go through because I can't have that much stuff. There's only this much room, I'm forced to get rid of all the things that are like a burden on me because I literally have nowhere to put them. Now I do a storage unit still, but I had 3 storage units. Now I have 1 5x10 storage unit, and I'm in the process of even cleaning that out. I still actually use that as a garage/attic space. So that way I have off-season gear and gear that I'm not using right this second, but I'll go get back later. And I even have, I just picked up an extra batch of tissues. I have all that kind of stuff in there. I think it's great to have that as a resource. So everything I own doesn't literally need to be in my vehicle, but I've gotten rid of 90-something% of everything I own. And I feel such a huge sense of relief of not having the burden of all those things. The idea of renting an apartment, even something as small as a 1-bedroom or even a studio apartment, I have to get stuff to put in it. I mean, I have to have a bed or something. I have to have some things. And then the idea of let's say I won the lottery and I could just buy a house. I have to buy all that furniture. I have to buy all these things to put in, and then I have to clean the things or pay someone to clean the things. I mean, if I won the lottery, I could pay someone to clean things, but that doesn't sound good. That sounds like a burden. That sounds complicated and exhausting. Now, I'm not saying that's true for you. Obviously, there's some people who thrive living in a house or an apartment in the city or a cabin in the woods, and that is their ideal situation where they are the most happy and healthy. But it seems like for me, this is it. This is that. But what it really boils down to is I feel free. I don't feel like I'm trapped physically. If something's bothering me, if someone is creepy or is being mean, or someone's smoking pot right next to my car, or there's loud noises, I just leave. I don't live there. I can live anywhere. I just leave if I don't want to deal with it. If it's super hot, I leave. If the pollution is bad because of a smoke of a fire, I leave. I'm not stuck anywhere for a very long period of time because I'm mobile, living in a vehicle. And I also am not stuck in this kind of metaphorical sense. If I want to change something in my life, I can just change it because I don't have that many obligations when it really comes down to it. I still have bills to pay. I'm still paying off debt. I have clients for my law firm. I still have all that stuff. But I have a lot more flexibility in how I do all that work. And because I own my own businesses now, my law firm and then all my YouTube stuff and other social media things, I have a lot of control over the timing of when I work on things. And I can choose to pivot to do some things now and some things then and to change how I run things in my life. So will I always keep living in a vehicle? I've thought a lot about this. Do I want to save up to buy a house in a small town or to buy a cabin in the woods? I own a little bit of raw land in New Mexico. Do I want to build on that and do like homesteading? I've thought about a lot of these things, and how I feel right this second is I'm just doing this. I like this. I have more than 10 years of travel planned out, both road tripping in the vehicle as well as some international travel that I plan to start doing in a couple years once I have my debts paid off. And I just want to keep doing that. I like sleeping in the car. I sleep better in the car than I did in an apartment, which may not be true for most people, but for me, it actually is. I like this cozy little space. Now, I do think about what happens when I'm really old or become severely disabled. So I've thought about, like, I would still do this when I'm, 50 later this year, when I'm 60, when I'm 70, like, but when I'm 95, would I keep doing this? What if I become severely disabled? What would I do? So I think it depends on what the issue is. I don't think you need to come off the road because you turned 65. That makes no sense, right? But if I went blind, if I'm legally blind, I'm obviously not living in a vehicle or road tripping all the time. Now, doesn't mean I wouldn't travel. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. These are things you can do. There are blind people who have YouTube channels. Most people who are blind are not 100% zero sight. And so there's things that you can do to actually create videos. Also, you can have someone help you, etc. But yeah, I would totally make a YouTube channel about what it is like to become blind. And then I'm traveling as a blind person and what it's like to do that. I mean, that'd be some good content, right? Could totally still do this business. You can still be a lawyer blind. People do that. I mean, there was a superhero who was a blind lawyer. And also, if I became disabled and couldn't walk, then I would have to get a van so I have a little bit more room or something a little bit bigger than this so I could put the wheelchair somewhere, right? But then I could still do this, There's scenarios that would mean a change of what my life is, but I don't think it would. I think I would still be doing some version of this. The biggest issue is if I had mental, dementia or Alzheimer's, something like that. Alzheimer's doesn't run in my family, but, kind of regular dementia, right? And then, so that I do save money for retirement for when I'm, 90, whatever, if I have dementia or something like that and I can't be doing this kind of stuff anymore. That is why I put money in retirement fund every month. And then who knows what I'll want to do, right? Maybe I'll get an apartment in the same city where my son lives, or maybe I'll go into a retirement community if I'm I realize, I really can't be doing this on my own. Because I'm 49 years old right now. I'm fine. Knock on leather. That was a very cursed thing to say. But for now, I don't see any reason to plan for the eventual coming off the road, except for just saving money for retirement. I don't plan to retire when I'm 65 anyway. I plan to keep doing this. Nowadays, to retire at 65 kind of doesn't make any sense anyway. Again, this is Elizabeth Off Grid. And if you want to stop by and say hi, leave a comment below. Otherwise, subscribe, if you want to follow along with this. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.